Chapter 12. The Greater Masters. In spite of all, I have never interrupted the study of music. Palestrina. An opera writer of Italy, named Giovanni Puccini, once said that to study the writings of Mozart, Haydn, and Beethoven lightens the mind of a student, since the classics are a continuous development of the most beautiful and simple melodies. And we sometimes hear it said that great men are they who dare to be simple. In our talks thus far we have learned one important fact, which is, that music is truth expressed out of the heart. Of course we know that to be in the heart it must be felt, and to be expressed we must know a great deal about writing. Now we are able to imagine quite well what a great master is in music. As Puccini says, his melodies will be simple and beautiful, and as we ourselves know, his simple melodies will be an expression of truth out of the heart. But to go only as far as this would not be enough. Many can write simply and well, and truthfully, yet not as a master. There must be something else. When we have found out what that something else is, we shall understand the masters better, and honor them more. Everywhere in the history of music we read of what men have been willing to do for the love of their art. It is not that they have been willing to do when told, but that they have cheerfully done painful, laborious tasks of their own accord. The name of every master will recall great labor willingly given for music and equally great suffering willingly endured, nay, even sought out, that the music might be purer to them. Per Palestrina went along many years through life with the scantiest means. But, as he says, in spite of all, I have never interrupted the study of music. Bach was as simple and loyal a citizen as any land could have, and from the early years when he was a fatherless boy to the days of his sad affliction, he sacrificed always. Think of the miles he walked to hear Buxtehude, the organist, and in the earlier years, when he lived with Johann Christopher, his brother, how eagerly he sought learning in the art that so fascinated him. It was a constant willingness to learn honestly that distinguished him. Any of us who will labor faithfully with the talents we have can do a great deal, more than we would believe. Even Bach himself said to a pupil, "If thou art equally diligent thou wilt succeed as I have." 40. He recognized that it matters little how much we wish for things to be as we want them. Unless our wish thoughts are forced into prompt action we cannot succeed, for while all thoughts seek action, wish thoughts demand the most labor. It would be pleasant to have a talk about every one of the great masters to see in what particular way each of them sacrificed for the art he loved. In all of them the true qualities come out. In one as earnestness, in another as determination, in another as patriotism, but all are loyal to the art itself. It must be a very plain lesson to us to see that when men are willing to give all their thoughts to a subject they get much from it. And is it not quite as plain to see that no one can get much if he gives but a few unwilling minutes to it? I trust none who hear these talks will ever think that with a little time given to their music, and that not freely given, they can ever get either pleasure or comfort from it. They never can. And rather than do it so they would better leave it undone. If we set out on the way to go to the masters we shall get there only by earnestness. Lagging is a disgrace to the one who travels and to the one to whom we go. It shows his laziness on the one hand, and his misunderstanding of the master on the other, for if he understood he would take no listless step. Now we have said again and again that true music comes from the heart, and is simple. At the same time we find it difficult to understand the music of the masters. That is, some of us find it so. It seems anything but simple to us, and naturally we conclude that there is something wrong somewhere. We sit at our tasks, poring over the music, and we grow discouraged because we cannot play it. To think it a very hard task is natural, and we cannot bear to hear such tones. Well, let us not get discouraged for that, let us see. First of all, the playing is more difficult to do than the music is to understand. Once a great master of the piano played to a lady who had never heard a great master before, and the playing was like beautiful lace. When it was over and the master had gone away, someone asked the lady how he had played, and she said, "He played so that the music sounded as I thought it should." And they asked her what she meant. "Always I have been taught," she said, "to listen to music and to think it. I have been taught this more than I have been taught to play. And the music of the master composers I always think of as beautiful and simple but hard to make it sound as it should. Often I have heard others say that the music of the masters is dull and not beautiful, but that is really not what the people feel. It is difficult for them to play the music rightly. And again, they cannot understand this, that art is often simple in its truth, while those who look upon it are not simple-hearted, as they regard it. This is hard to understand, but it is the true reason. Now, if we think of what this cultured lady said, we shall think her wise. Whatever stumbling we may do with our fingers, let us still keep in our minds the purity of the music itself. This will in a sense teach us to regard reverentially the men who, from early years, have added beauties to art for us to enjoy today. The wisest of the Greeks, 41, said, "The treasures of the wise men of old, which they have left written in books, I turn over and peruse in company with my friends, and if we find anything good in them, we remark it, and think it a great gain, if we thus become more attracted to one another." Once an English lady, 42, wrote about a verse writer, "No poet ever clothes so few ideas in so many words." Just opposite to this is a true poet, he who clothes in few words many and noble ideas. A master tells his message in close-set language. Now, in the last minutes, let us see what a great master is. He will be one who tells a beautiful message simply. 2. He has been willing to sacrifice and suffer for his art. 3. He has lived his every day in the simple desire to know his own heart better. 4. Always he has concentrated his message into as few tones as possible, and his music, therefore, becomes filled to overflowing with meaning. About the meaning of the masters, one of them has written this: "Whenever you open the music of Bach, Mozart, or Beethoven, its meaning comes forth to you in 1,000 different ways. That is because thousands of different messages from the heart have been concentrated in it.